So we spend a ton of time learning new skills, right? Especially for our careers. But hey, what good is a skill if you can't actually prove you have it? Today, we're going to tackle one of the most important professional skills out there, writing. How do you show an employer you're a great writer, not just tell them? Well, let's break it down.
Think about it. You've done the work, you've practiced, you know how to write a killer email or a super clear job description. But then you're in an interview or maybe you're up for a promotion and you're trying to explain this. How do you go beyond just saying, oh yeah, I'm a good writer? How do you put tangible, professional proof on the table?
And the answer, my friends, is a recruitment writing portfolio. Now, this isn't just some random folder of documents you've written. No. This is a carefully selected, strategic package that's designed to show off your writing chops in a real-world corporate setting. It's your proof, all organized and ready to blow them away.
Okay, so how do you actually build one of these things? It all starts with a solid blueprint. We need to make sure every single piece inside works together to tell one single powerful story about your skills. And the key to that whole story comes down to one word: coherence.
So what exactly do I mean by writing coherence? Well, it's kind of like magic. It's what happens when all your different documents, your emails, your reports, whatever, don't just sit next to each other, but they feel like they truly belong together. You know, they look and sound like they came from one single highly skilled professional. That's the goal. So how do we get that coherence? We use a simple but really powerful three-part structure. First, an introduction to set the stage. Second, your examples to show off your work. And third, a reflection to explain your thinking. Let's see what that actually looks like. Okay, let's really break this down. Your introduction is basically the roadmap. It tells the reader exactly what they're about to see. Super simple. Then you have the examples section. This is the main event. This is where you put the actual work, like a job description you wrote or a social media post you drafted. And finally, the reflection. Now this is where you connect all the dots, explaining the why behind your writing choices.
All right, so having that structure is absolutely essential. But what really takes a portfolio from good to great is that final professional polish. And that all comes from being a master of self-editing.
See, it's not enough to just throw the pieces together. A truly professional portfolio is one that's been reviewed with a super critical eye. And what are we looking for? Two little things that just scream, I'm a detail-oriented pro: tense and consistency. This is how you prove that you don't just write well, you also review your work like a hawk.
Now check this out, because this is where a tiny detail can make a huge difference. On the left, in the inconsistent example, the job description is in the present tense. It says manages. But the reflection talks about it in the past tense. It says it used strong verbs. It's a subtle clash. But look at the right. It's consistent. The reflection says the job description uses strong verbs, which perfectly matches the present tense of the document. It's a small change, but it signals a massive amount of attention to detail.
And that, right there, gets to the heart of it. Consistency is what separates pretty good writing from truly professional writing. When you take the time to align every single part of your portfolio, you're not just creating a document, you're building a rock-solid, convincing case for your skills.
Okay, let's circle back to that third section, the reflection, because honestly, this might be the most important part of the whole thing. This is where you don't just show your work, you explain your thinking.
So a really powerful reflection, it's got to do three things. First off, it has to clearly show what you learned or what specific skills you were applying. Second, the reflection itself needs to be a perfect example of good writing with a nice cohesive structure. And third, it should use connector words to link your ideas together. Words like therefore or in addition are like little signposts guiding your reader through your thought process. Here is a perfect example in action. Notice how it starts with the task. Then it points to a very specific skill using strong verbs like execute. Then it uses in addition to add another layer about adjectives. And finally, bam, it uses therefore to draw a clear conclusion. You see, this isn't just a summary, it's a deep dive analysis that proves you're a strategic, thoughtful writer.
All right, so you've got the blueprint for the structure, you know the secret to polishing it, and you have the formula for a killer reflection. What's left? Well, the only thing left to do is to actually put it into action.
Here's your action plan. Super simple. Step 1. Gather 2 or 3 of your strongest professional writing examples. Step 2. Draft that short intro and your thoughtful reflection, making sure to link them to your examples. And Step 3, and you know this one is crucial, perform that final review. Check every single sentence for tense and consistency so the whole package is flawless.
Look, building a portfolio like this really does transform your writing. It goes from being some abstract skill you just say you have into concrete, undeniable evidence of your expertise. It's the most direct and powerful way to prove your value. So the only question left is your portfolio ready?